While there have been a handful of re-releases of the Metal Gear Solid titles over the years, these rarely saw release on Nintendo platforms. Well, obviously with the big exception being Twin Snakes on the GameCube. Fast forward to now, and the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 is nearly here. Not only that, but the game had a playable demo at the Tokyo Game Show 2023, and we had a chance to check it out on the Switch. Let's get into it. Danny from the Famicast here. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. Sound off in the comments down below, and we may read it out on our bi-weekly show called the Famicast. Today, though, we're taking a look at the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 demo on the Switch, and we hope that this will be helpful, giving you some kind of a better look at how the game runs and to check out also the experience of what Konami was offering at TGS this year. Let's do it. The Konami booth this year had two play areas for the Master Collection, a handful for PS5 and PC, and another section that had stuff for the Switch, each with about 6 or so demo units each. Now, of course, like I mentioned, I checked out the Switch version of the game, which could be played in like these beanbag chairs or on these small tables with chairs and stuff like that. I had 20 minutes with the game and visited the booth twice during my time at TGS this year, so I got to try out the game for a total of 40 minutes and got to try out everything from the collection. Now, Konami went all out with Metal Gear Solid at their booth this year. Now, in addition to demo units, a small room was actually constructed behind the play area, giving players like this look at some Metal Gear Solid board game, as well as various series-related trinkets and knickknacks and stuff like that. Not only that, but a series of green lasers were all across the room that would turn red and alert the guards who were roaming around the top of like the scaffolding of the booth. And yeah, after going through all that, you're actually able to get your pictures taken with some airsoft guns or the iconic cardboard box. They didn't even care if you got into the thing. You could all do this stuff. So that was pretty cool. Now, additionally, those that tried out the game were actually able to get a free t-shirt. There were 6 designs available, basically white and black ones for each of the mainline games, and these were given out at random. Now, like I said, I got to play the demo twice, but ended up with identical white Metal Gear Solid 1 shirts. Oh well. Now, the Metal Gear Solid booth was probably one of the better booths I'd seen over the past decade or so of going to Tokyo Game Show. The only complaint I have is the lack of demo stations in lieu of this extravagance. Now, with only a handful of demo stations for each game, the lines would just fill up after minutes after the show floor opened up, leaving people waiting for an hour or more just to try out the game. Visuals and performance have been a bit of a touchy topic with the Master Collection. Earlier in the summer, Konami shared that all of the games in the collection are targeting 1080p, of course 720p for the Switch and handheld, at 60 frames a second. I mean, the Switch was the only exception here, with all of the games targeting 30. Well, in the middle of Tokyo Game Show 2023, Konami gave an update on the situation. Now, while most of the previous information is exactly the same, the original Metal Gear Solid will now only run up to 30 frames per second on all platforms. Now, in regard to frame rate on the games, Konami also stated that this is the highest possible variable frame rate achievable. Certain factors such as large amounts of effects during gameplay or cutscenes may cause frame rate drops. As for the games themselves, the original games have all been up-converted to display at the target 1080p resolution. But how does this collection actually look and perform on the Switch? Well, honestly, not bad, all things considered. Now, I got to try out all of the mainline games in the collection, the original Famicom version of Metal Gear, and also check out some of the bonus content. Now, all of the games themselves were preloaded onto the demo console itself, so I was free to swap in and out during any of them during my 20-minute play sessions. And each game ran pretty smoothly. I didn't notice any frame rate drops during my short time with each of them. Things look pretty sharp in handheld mode too, but I do imagine they'll look a little bit better if they're played on Switch OLED. The demo units here were original models. Overall, I was pretty impressed. I think Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 definitely looked the best out of all of the games. I mean, I think that's just kind of a no-brainer here. But the original Metal Gear Solid was a little bit rough around the edges. Personally, I enjoy seeing games from that era being up-res to modern resolutions and retaining their original look, but some people might be turned off by that. The unchanged aspect ratio also might put people off too, but I thought that was fine. And when it comes down to it, if you're itching to play these games on the go, from what I've played, this is actually a legit way to do so. And even with that said, it is strange to me that seeing as how there are versions of some of these games out there running at 60 frames a second, it's just weird that Konami could not achieve this for this collection. I mean, yeah, Switch is a little bit underpowered, I understand that, but I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Well, I prefer higher frame rates when possible. I'm usually not too terribly picky with this type of stuff, but this just seems like a big miss for Konami to appease hardcore fans of the series. Now, is it possible for Konami to release some kind of patch down the line to address these frame rate issues? Potentially add higher resolution, for more powerful hardware? I mean, sure, but all that gamers can really do right now is hope. It's great that this Metal Gear Solid collection is coming to the Switch. However, it is a bit disappointing that this version takes a visual hit to the frame rate across the board. Now, I don't have the technical details about why that is, especially considering the source material being so old, but it is what it is. The games are still fun to play on the Switch, but if you're looking to play mainly on the big screen, you might want to go with a version of the game on more powerful hardware. But let's go ahead and turn things over to you guys. Are you picking up the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1? What platform are you picking it up on? Be sure to sign up in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. As always, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. If you like what you see, please feel free to drop this one a like. I hope this could give you at least a little bit of a more insight on how this game runs on the Switch and all that type of stuff. But yeah, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, all that type of stuff. We got a lot of podcast video reviews, looks at games from events like TGS, and a whole lot more. Again, this is Danny from the Famicast. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you later.